Hello, welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Trials and Tribulations. It's me, A. Prustian. It has been a good week and a half, I think, since I recorded the first Trials and Tribulations episode, but then I got sick, couldn't really record. I tried, it was a disaster. I tried for about 30 seconds. I was like, this ain't gonna work. So I'm back, finally feeling better, sounding better, and I'm ready to see what Phoenix is up to. Right. I'm cross-examining him here. So he says that guy, he was talking bad about Dolly. So what kinds of things did Mr. Swallow say to you? He said all sorts of terrible things about Dolly. He said she was a bad girl. Uh, um, is that all? Yep. Oh my God, Phoenix. That's not worth killing someone over, buddy. I know he didn't do it. But it is, again, at this point, you have to stop and think, okay, then who did? Was it an accident? Was it somebody who came in later and took advantage of the altercation they saw with Phoenix and this guy, whose name I forget? Huh. Those seem like the two most likely possibilities at this point, so I guess we'll see. Well, Miss Fay, you heard him yourself. Oh boy, you're not doing yourself any favors here, Mr. Wright. Please don't make this harder for me than it already is. Listen, that seems to be his goal in life right now. Anyway, after he said that, I lost my temper and gave him a shove. Oh, no, I need to go back to that. Because I need to press him on it. Can you tell me about what happened in a little more detail? That guy, he just said what he wanted to say to me. And then he put on the jacket he was holding and started to leave. That's when I lost my temper and flew into a furious frenzy. Furious frenzy of shove. I just gave him a light, gentle shove to the chest. Mm-hmm. And when you did that, there was no severed cable anywhere to be seen? Right. There was nothing like that at all. But is it possible that you merely overlooked it? Well, I guess it's possible. Oh, God, Phoenix, what did I say? You don't have to make this harder for Mia. What are you doing? Don't let that guy steamroll over you like cheap asphalt. I believe what's important here is the moment the push occurred. Now, let's continue on with the testimony, witness. I heard some kind of loud noise. A loud noise? And what would you say that loud noise was, Mr. Wright? I'm not sure, but it was really loud. It was like, snap! Come to think of it, I wonder what that was. Come to think of it. Oh my God. Clearly, Your Honor, it was the sound of the victim being electrocuted. You're not qualified to decide that. What should I do? I'm treading on some dangerous ground here. Maybe, but I think we have to ask for more. Mr. Wright, that loud noise you heard may be extremely important. So, try to remember what it was? How do I put it? It was like a sharp crack. Aha! Could it have been? I don't know, what could it have been? Yes? Could it have been? Hurry up and tell us. When I pushed him, he dropped the umbrella he was holding. He fell right on top of it, and it broke. That was probably the noise I heard. An umbrella, huh? Did that umbrella belong to the victim? Yeah, it was a plastic umbrella, cheap and frail, kind of like the owner. Phoenix! Do not. That is digging. Stop digging. Then again, I wish I had any kind of umbrella. I was totally soaked to the bone. Miss Faye? What do you think? Is there something important in that testimony just now? Um, well, I mean, you gotta say it's important. I feel like it probably is. What's in my court record? Because I don't think there was... Yeah, the umbrella is broken, but it's not underneath him. So maybe that means he was moved? I believe that. I believe that is evidence. So, of course it's important. This is it, Mia. The new information you've been waiting for. Of course it's important. No, this cheap umbrella is more than important. It's vital. Oh, you're good at selling this. I like that. I want to officially have it entered into the testimony. Ha! How perfectly fitting. Flimsy information for a flimsy lawyer. The court agrees to the defense's request. Witness, please add the bit about the cheap umbrella to your testimony. After I shoved him, he fell down on top of his cheap umbrella. So Mr. Swallow fell on top of his umbrella, and you're certain of this? Yeah, it was right there under him. Actually, if it hadn't been under him, I was planning on borrowing it for myself. The umbrella, you mean? Well, yeah, you see, I was wearing this sweater here. Dolly stayed up late for nights at a time knitting it for me. Oh, bless, because it's in Tarja. I hate it in Tarja. So I used to knit before I moved to Southern California, where it's just frankly too warm. When I lived in the Midwest, I used to knit. And I love doing color work, Fair Isle style, which is when you alternate colors every few stitches. So I could hold one color in one hand and one color in the other and just go to town. It was great. And Tarja is like this, where you've got big blocks of different colors. And when you knit, you go in a circle usually, or maybe back and forth. I think this would work better back and forth than knitting in the round. Anyways, Cold Run was making fun of me for including physics information. Making fun is probably the wrong thing. Celebrating that I was putting physics information in. Now you get a little knitting, too. I didn't want the rain to dampen the handmade symbol of her love. Humph. My stomach is not to be used as your personal soccer ball, Mia. Ah, I'm so sorry. Continue on with your testimony, witness. Okay, so I'll go ahead and press him on these. I think I know what I want to do, which is to present that picture back here at this one, but I want to see if there's anything else interesting. After you shoved the victim, did you leave the scene right away? Yes, I did. I admit it. I was furious. You left without even checking Mr. Swallow's condition? Well, yeah, but like I said, I got worried about him later. So I went back, but he was just lying there, dead. At that time, did you see anyone else at the scene of the crime? Nope. Nobody. Jeez, could that stupid cough possibly sound any phonier? In that case, it's very hard to believe someone else could have been the murderer. Unless we can find something that shows his innocence from that testimony, my dear. Afraid the judge will make his final decision with no remorse whatsoever. Yes, sir. Right now, I need more info. Info that will help me turn up some contradictions. Yeah, we got there. Don't worry about it. There we go. Fell down on top of his cheap umbrella. And it's this picture. Why didn't you testify about the umbrella from the very beginning? Oh, come on. If I had mentioned that... I would have been able to counter the prosecution's arguments earlier. What do you mean by that? Take another look at the crime scene photo. According to Mr. Wright, the victim fell on top of his umbrella. However, if you look closely, the umbrella is nowhere near the victim. Actually, it's by the electrical pole. You're absolutely right. The conclusion here is obvious. After the defendant left, the victim moved from where he fell. In other words, after he was pushed by the defendant, Mr. Swallow was still alive. No! Nicely done, Mia. Order, order, order. The victim, he moved? Mr. Payne, the umbrella in this photo, where is it now? Well, it was collected by the police at the crime scene. I want to present it as evidence immediately. Okay, now we have the umbrella. But the umbrella could have simply been blown there by the wind. According to the testimony, the victim fell on top of the umbrella. There's simply no way it could have been blown there by the wind. But I know this matter of the umbrella seems relatively trivial, but as long as the smallest doubt remains, I cannot render final judgment. No. Oh my god, his hair. Amazing. I must say, I find it hard to believe that a huge hole has been blown in the prosecution's case by the defendant's testimony. His testimony added to the court record. Well done, Mia. Hee hee. Mr. Payne, what are you chuckling about? Pardon me, Your Honor. Seems I was expecting too much of a free ride. I was foolish to think I could establish guilt through cross-examination alone. I'm afraid I don't follow what you're saying. He's got something up his sleeves. Let me guess, you have another witness. Exactly, and the witness's testimony will be incontrovertible. Is it Dolly? Did Dolly kill him? Well, who is this witness? Miss Dahlia Hawthorne. Yeah, she's the only other person we know of. Has to be her. Dahlia Hawthorne? You don't mean Dolly? I do, Your Honor. The defendant's very own lover is a witness to the whole thing. That's right. She was at the scene of the crime when the murder took place. What? I'm sorry to break the bad news to you, my dear. Oh, I love that look. Brushing the bangs. Bad news? You couldn't be more wrong. Actually, I've been waiting for this. You can't be serious. Mia, what do you mean by that? She's also played the other two games. Alright, I think this is a good point for us to stop at. Court will now enter a 20-minute recess. Afterwards, we will listen to the testimony of Ms. Dahlia Hawthorne. April 11th, 11:52 a.m., District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 3. Ms. Fay, I'm sorry about what happened back there. It's alright. At least you told us the truth in the end, Mr. Wright. Yeah, so I guess I can start to relax then, huh? Relax, my boy? You can't be serious after hiding such important facts. But the next witness is my Dolly, right? She'll save me. I just know she will. Oh, Phoenix. Why do you think that? Huh? What do you mean? She's the love of my life, that's why. The love of your life, huh? Would you mind telling me more about you and Ms. Dahlia Hawthorne? Sure, no problem. Dolly and I, we first met about 8 months ago, right here in this very courthouse. Actually, I'm studying to be a lawyer on the side. Anyway, one day, she and I just bumped into each other in the reading room downstairs. That's why I really think it was fate that brought us together. As soon as I first set eyes on her, I knew she was the one for me. Oh, here, take a look at this. Huh? She gave me this, uh, she gave this to me the day we met as a symbol of our love. The day you met? Oh my god, Phoenix. She'd been wearing it around her neck that day, but then she took it off. Before she gave it to me, she said, I want you to carry this. So she gave it to you as a present, I see. This darling little bottle is filled with memories of my darling little Dolly. It certainly is a little bottle, all right. Makes me so happy. I show it to everyone I meet. I'm sure you do, Phoenix. I want to share my happiness with the whole world. You know, I'm actually really impressed with how, like, he feels very consistent with the Phoenix we know later, but obviously younger and more naive. But this kind of optimism and, like, really trust he has, I feel like is something he carries through in the future. Dahlia's present, a small bottle necklace given to Wright on the day they met. He shows it to everyone. Dahlia's present borrowed from Phoenix. Okay. Anyway. So after that, you and Ms. Hawthorne started dating? Yeah, but she's so shy. Every time I see her, she always says the same thing to me. Please give it back now. What a strange girl, asking for a present back like that. By the way, Mr. Wright, the day you first met Dahlia Hawthorne 8 months ago, it wouldn't happen to have been on August 27th, would it? Oh, is this Mia's first trial? Huh? Yeah, it was. But how did you... This happened on August 27th, right here in the courthouse. What's this? A newspaper clipping? Let's see. Murder in the courthouse? Murder? Oh, shit. What are you reading there? Oh, let me see that. Oh, I see. Mia, I think I understand what you're trying to say. And I think I understand why you suddenly took such a keen interest in this case. You believe there's some connection between these two cases. Am I correct? Interesting. So I bet this is with her first trial or something related to it. Okay, without knowing anything else about this murder, I think Dolly had like poison or something in that bottle and she maybe used it to poison someone and then she pawned off the necklace on Phoenix so that it wouldn't be caught on her. And now she wants it back. That's my guess, having read, I don't know, books before. I don't know. Guess we'll find out. My question is, if she keeps asking for it back, why hasn't he given it back to her? I guess he does love showing it to everyone. But, I hope you don't mind, Mr. Grossberg. I need to finish this myself. Ah, yes, but I'm afraid what you have will not be enough, my dear. I'll go and have a look in the downstairs reading room and see what else I can find. Thank you. I want to do whatever I can to be of help to you, Mia. Well, looks like recess is about over. We better all get moving. I guess so. That recess sure seems longer than 20 minutes, though. Did it? Interesting. Oh, to be continued. Ooh, dun dun dun. All right, April 11th, 12:13. Ooh, I forget what time I just read. It might have been 12:33. Was that a 40-minute break? I wonder what that means. Court will now reconvene. Mr. Payne, please call your witness. This next person is someone who witnessed the crime as it happened. The prosecution calls Ms. Dahlia Hawthorne to the stand. Oh, Phoenix, she's about to throw you under the bus. Oh my god, the butterflies! Jesus Christ, lady. What's with this stiff silence? In my long career as a judge, I have been deceived by many witnesses. It's my job to doubt, to take no one at their word. But in your case, I must admit that you radiate a glow of complete sincerity. Oh, shit. Well, no boy. I can't believe he actually said that. Thank you, Mia. I agree. Whoa, he looked stressed about that. Oh, now then, witness, could you please state your full name? Don't worry, sweetie. There's no need to be nervous. If anyone says anything rude, you can be sure I'll cut them right down to size. And I will bash them with my gavel. Oh my god, you guys. I love how they look straight at me when they say that. Thank you for calming my nerves. You're all so nice. I almost feel right at home. She is aggressively cute. And not like, what was her name in the circus? Regina? I guess kind of like that. Like, cuteness to a degree that it's like, holy shit, guys, you could dial back. They don't dial back on anybody, though. All the character types are, like, kind of pushed to the maximum, which is something that makes the game, I think, interesting. But here, maybe because, okay, definitely because I suspect her of murder, it feels weaponized, right? Like, she's using this as a shield. Yeah. It was nothing. If we may move on now, what is your full name and occupation? My name is Dahlia Hawthorne. I'm a junior in literature at Ivy University. I just want to say, it's an honor for me to be here in your noble presence. The honor is all mine. No, the honor is all mine. Well, we know whose milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. Okay, when was this translated? Sir? Is there something I can help you with? You just go on and say whatever's on your mind. I'm sure there must be some kind of mistake. Feeny. Oh, God. That is the worst nickname. I'm a huge fan of Nick at this point as a nickname for Phoenix. Feeny is just... wow. Feeny wouldn't kill anyone. I just know it. Yes, I can see why you'd say that. She's gonna be a tough witness, all right. Yeah, Mia sees through her. Only took her 12 seconds to wrap them all around her little finger. Now then, please proceed with your testimony. Now let's hear about what you witnessed on the day of the incident, if you please. I have been planning to go back to Feeny's place after class was over. Feeny and Dougie, they were talking behind the building. And then suddenly, Dougie got all wobbly and just collapsed. That's when Feeny noticed I was there. I went to go and find some other students, and they called the authorities. Now, this is interesting. Is she doing this because she's clearly lying? But it feels like she's lying to avoid blaming Phoenix. But is she doing this because, like, what's her goal here? Very interesting. All right, the judge. I don't know what to say. According to you, Ms. Hawthorne, the defendant didn't do anything wrong. Like, it feels like that's what you'd expect a loving girlfriend to do, maybe. And so is she putting on this front? I don't trust her. Young lady, as old as I am, even I recall how hot the flames of young passion can burn. And nevertheless, it is my job to discover the truth. Please, tell us the truth. But, but I would never. That's more than enough, witness. I won't allow this to continue. What do you mean by that? Please, just let me proceed with my cross-examination, Your Honor. I, for one, don't plan to win my case on a bunch of paper-thin lies. Tee-hee, you haven't changed a bit. They do know each other. Mia Fey. What's this? So you two are acquainted? Yes, we've met before, once. In any case, Ms. Fey, the floor is all yours. It's good to see you again, Madam Fey. Madam? No one's grandma yet, girlie. What she witnessed. Alright, let's start talking about this pack of lies. Going back to Feeney's place after class was over. Now, unless I'm mistaken, Feeney, I mean, Mr. Wright is in the art department. If that's the case, then what were you doing by the pharmacology building? Well, I'm in the literature department. I'm studying Japanese Senryu poetry. Oh ho, how wonderful! Isn't that humorous yet satirical style of haiku, yes? Nothing left to do. When a man reaches this age, sleep is his best friend. Oh, God. All right, I'll take it, Dahlia. That was pretty good. That's supposed to be poetry? Sounds more like a midlife crisis. Yes, but it was a burn on the judge, and I don't think he realized it. For me to get to the art department, I have to walk through that back area. Ah, yes, I see. That makes sense. When I went to enter the courthouse, I always walked through the front doors. How else would you enter? Teleportation? Feeney and Dougie were talking behind the building. So, who is this Dougie person? Oh, I'm sorry, Doug Swallow. We were dating until about 8 months ago. 8 months ago, huh? So what were Dougie, Mr. Swallow and Mr. Wright talking about anyway? How can you be so mean? Oh, pulling out the tears. I would never eavesdrop. I wasn't raised to be so rude and unrefined. That's right, Ms. Fey. Don't drag the witness down to your level. Why am I being demonized here? Please go on. What did you see next? Then suddenly, Dougie got all wobbly and just collapsed. Uh-huh. Are you saying that the victim just collapsed on his own? Yes. In other words, the defendant never touched the victim. Is that right? I was watching the whole time. Feeney never did a thing to Dougie. I press her for no good reason. I just know the judge will get angry with me. So what should I do about her testimony just now? I'll leave it alone for now. We'll come back to it. Yeah, I suppose her statement works out in our favor for now. Hold off on looking into it any deeper until it's necessary. Yeah, I want to look at the other stuff first. Very well, young lady. Please go on with your testimony. That's when Feeney noticed I was there. What did Mr. Wright say when he saw you? I'm sorry. I was so flustered that I really don't remember. Please forgive me. Mm-hmm. You don't remember? Well, that's common enough. Sometimes I can't recall a sentence I passed only minutes prior. Oh, God, Judge. Please, someone, anyone, stop him before he gets hurt? By me? Fair play. Went to go find some other students. They called the authorities. When you say students, do you mean students from the pharmacology department? Yes, they're all very fond of their drugs. Please try to stay on topic. So to find some pharmacology students, you went into the labs, correct? That's what I was planning to do, but in the end I wound up not going. A group of about 10 research students came running out of the building entrance. Somehow, they all seemed to know what was going on. The students knew what was going on? Okay, I have to press this for more details. But how could the students have known what was going on? Well, I don't know for sure that they knew what had happened. It's just they all seemed kind of excited about something. Doesn't look like I'm gonna get any more info about the students. So did the students call the police? Yes, I was so panicked. Yes, well, anyone would have been, my dear. That girl, she's telling a super obvious lie, and she knows it. She's just pretending to protect Mr. Wright. Yeah, she is. Yes, that's gotta be it. Way to go, Mia! Okay, that means I'm gonna have to dig deep to find the contradiction on this one. Yeah, no, we know that she's lying about the shove. Like, yes, that's obvious. Alright, let's go ahead and show a contradiction. What am I gonna show here, actually? Is it... Wait, what does this actually say? Murder in the courthouse? Very little information is being disclosed at this time, since the victim of yesterday's incident in the district courthouse cafeteria is said to have been a lawyer. However, police are questioning the 19-year-old female college student who was sitting with the victim. Yeah, she poisoned the fuck out of that guy, whoever it was. Okay. Well, we'll show a contradiction. Feeble lies are not very becoming, Miss Hawthorne, so let's drop them, shall we? What? I would never. Miss Fay, I will not allow you to badger this witness. My dude. I believe the defense is engaged in a fishing expedition. I wish she's just looking at him like, dude, right now, this on its face would be good for the defense. That is, she has no supporting. Stare him down, Mia. Please don't glare at me like that. I'm just doing my job. I love that. That battle of wills was just, I mean, Pain is not the strongest of antagonists we've ever had, but still, that was magnificent, and I loved every bit of it. And now then, Ms. Hawthorne. Especially because Phoenix could not have pulled that off. He does not have a glare like that. Alright. The defendant's palm print was found on Mr. Swallow's leather jacket. It has already been shown that Mr. Wright did in fact push the victim. What? There's no need to try to cover for the defendant. It would be much better if you came out and told us the whole truth. There's nothing to worry about, young lady. Just tell us everything you saw. Yes, Your Honor. I will. If you don't mind, I'd like to revise my testimony. Looks like we're finally getting somewhere. Maybe. Um, actually, I didn't see the moment he pushed Dougie. Uh-huh. You didn't see it? Well, I saw the moment when Dougie fell to the ground. And at that time, there was only the two of them at the scene. The defendant, Phoenix Wright, and the victim, Doug Swallow. Yes, that's right. It didn't look like they were fighting, and I didn't hear anything unusual either. So then, what did it look like they were doing to you? I thought they were having a nice, friendly afternoon conversation. Oh, give me a break. That's why I really wasn't watching them all that closely. Did you notice anything out of the ordinary at all? No, nothing at all, Mr. Judge. Oh, I like the sound of that, Mr. Judge. Now then, please proceed with your testimony. Oh my god, dude. I'm trying very hard not to just be all fucking men in this, but you know what? Fucking men. Ah! These guys, at least. Alright. Well, now that brings us back here. I guess I'm not actually 100% sure what to do. That girl, she's telling a super obvious lie and she knows it. Pretending to protect. Yeah, I thought we'd dig deeper to find the contradiction. I thought we already did that. Okay, now I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so let me see what options I have. I must be presenting something either here or here. Probably here. Didn't look like they were fighting. I didn't hear anything unusual either. Oh yeah, there was like the snap, right? Yeah, I'm gonna present this. You say you didn't hear anything unusual. Is that correct? Yes, that's why I was very relaxed, looking at the scenery around me. It's my favorite animation of her. I love it. That's nice, but I find it just a little odd. I have here the testimony of your boyfriend, Mr. Phoenix Wright. And he clearly testified to the effect that when he pushed the victim, he heard a sharp, loud noise. He said that? If you were really that close to the two of them, why didn't you hear this noise as well? Well, maybe the noise just wasn't all that memorable. But according to Mr. Wright's testimony, it was a sharp noise like a snap. There's no way a noise like that could fail to make an impression. Heck. May I have a moment to answer? By all means. I know the reason why I didn't hear the noise. You see, the truth is, I had my headphones on, and I was listening to music at the time. Headphones? You mean that both your ears were covered? Now that was in red. That's interesting. The rain was just beginning to let up. But it seemed as though Thor wasn't ready for his fun to come to an end yet. So the sky continued to flash and rumble. Thunder and lightning, huh? Yes, I'm afraid of the sound of thunder. So I put my headphones on to block it out. Well, Your Honor, as you can see, there weren't any contradictions in her testimony after all. Wait a sec, Mia. That testimony just now. She said something that could totally change this whole case. There was lightning. Did dude get electrocuted? This is my guess. There was lightning. Your Honor, there's a problem with the witness's testimony. What do you mean? Didn't you notice? She said there was lightning, correct? Yes, what about it? Well, lightning is actually a large discharge of electricity in the atmosphere. Am I right? Yes, you are. Now's not the time for a science lesson, Ms. Fay. Yes, Your Honor. Anyway, since the cause of death was electrocution, isn't it possible that the victim died from being hit by a bolt of lightning? I mean, it feels like a reach. Oh, I must admit that the thought had not occurred to me. Just what kind of thoughts do occur to this guy anyway? Now that's a good question. This entire case is built on the premise that Mr. Doug Swallow was murdered. But that very premise itself is mistaken. The defense believes that Mr. Swallow was, in fact, the victim of a stray bolt. I feel like you could probably tell medically if it were lightning versus a localized... I wonder if that's true, though. I don't know. I guess I just assume lightning strikes are so much more. I don't know if it has... Now I want to, like, look it up. I'm not going to, though. I'm going to keep playing this game. It appears the defense may be onto something. Could it be that the death was actually accidental? Alright, you did it, Mia. I'll be taking that not guilty now if you don't... Yeah, I don't think that was gonna be the end of it. I'm hurt that you have such a low opinion of me, Miss Fay. Huh? I'm not a fool, you know. The prosecution has done its research, Your Honor. We found that there were no lightning strikes on that day at that location. What? What's more, we have evidence that the electrical cable is definitely linked to this case. Evidence, Mr. Payne? Well, what is this evidence? This affidavit. Who is this affidavit from? The pharmacology students who were conducting experiments in their labs that day. Yeah, if their labs all, like, shorted out, then they would have run outside knowing something was up, which is what Dolly testified about. Allow me to read out to the court the testimony of the pharmacology students. All equipment in the labs lost power all of a sudden at around 3 p.m. that day. Was it a blackout? All of the lab's equipment runs on high voltage, Your Honor. So you're saying the equipment lost power because... Precisely. They lost power because of the severed electrical cable. The power outage occurred at approximately 3 p.m., which fits with the time of death listed in the autopsy report. Exactly. In other words, the victim died as a result of touching the severed electrical cable. Yeah, I figured that was likely. According to the students, the cables were very old. They were planning on having them replaced in the near future. I see. Apparently the cables have become so brittle that even the smallest bump would have caused them to break. Alright. So the old power cable broke due to some sort of impact at 2:55 p.m. However, there is one thing that troubles me. If the cable could have been broken by any small bump, then it wouldn't have snapped if it hadn't been bumped into, correct? Well, I suppose you could say that. Miss Fay, do you have any thoughts regarding the cause of the severed cable? Ooh, do I? Your Honor, I don't like how this is looking one bit. I have to come up with something to try to regain some momentum. If it pleases the court, the defense would like to state its opinion. Well then, let's hear it. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break? The umbrella? I think I'm gonna say the umbrella. This is it. This is why the cable snapped. Well, Your Honor. Ah, damn. I believe the only thing that has snapped is the mind of the defense. Ah, that was one of your best lines yet, Your Honor. Stop sucking up to him. Ugh, ouch, that was harsh. Please, Your Honor, give me one more chance. Well then, let's hear it. Who or what was it that caused the cable to break? Okay, so it must be Doug? This is it. Oh no, they don't like that either. Shit. Okay, so I get another try. This is not obvious to me. I mean, like, honestly, I think it was Dahlia, but I don't have any evidence of that. I mean, fuck it, let's choose her, but I don't think they're gonna go for it. They are not. What's very nice of them here is that they are not, they're not dealing me damage here. But I feel like, I don't know, I feel like this should be obvious, and it's not. It's not obvious to me. Okay, let's take a look at this again. Let's see here. Could it have been Phoenix? Phoenix is the only other person here. Shit. Okay, I guess maybe it's Phoenix. Your Honor, please think back to Mr. Phoenix Wright's testimony. The defendant's testimony? He said that after he pushed the victim, he heard a loud, sharp noise. Now, this happened at around 3 p.m., correct? Yes, that sounds right. Wait, are you saying that the lab equipment lost power at 2:55, which fits right into Mr. Wright's timeline? In other words, it was Mr. Wright's shove that caused the power outage. Yeah, but doesn't that also imply that his shove got the guy killed? Or is she saying that it's a separate event, breaking it versus electrocuting him with it? Okay, that must be. I was thinking of them as kind of one and the same event, but if we're separating them out as two separate things, like somebody used, like, dude moved, and then somebody used the cable to electrocute him. And by somebody, I mean Dolly. Yes, the prosecution also came to that same conclusion. And it was that very shove that caused Mr. Swallow to be electrocuted. But we know it wasn't, right? Because of the umbrella. Okay. I'm afraid I can't agree with you there, Mr. Payne. What's that supposed to mean? Take a good look at where the victim landed after being shoved. See the umbrella? It's by the electrical pole. That's right. The victim banged into that pole as a result of being pushed. It was that impact that caused the cable to break. Well, that makes sense. And then the victim was electrocuted. No way. I'm sorry, Your Honor, but no, it doesn't make sense at all. If the victim was shoved into the far pole, then he couldn't have been electrocuted by the severed cable in the foreground here. Right, yeah, that's meters away. Ah! In other words, someone other than my client must have electrocuted the victim. Dolly. Order in the court. Ah, the lamentations of my enemy. How I've longed to hear them. I love how different she is than Phoenix. Like, Mia's a lot more cutthroat, and I love it. It's true. The defense is absolutely correct. There doesn't seem to be any way the defendant could have. Um, Mr. Judge, sir, may I say something? The Madam Attorney's explanation. She said some things that are a little different than I remember them. What? 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 What the? Please, just once more. May I please testify one last time? Please, Mr. Judge? Oh my god, the fucking tears. Of course it's all right. Just go right ahead and give your new testimony. This is it. She's finally starting to show her true colors. Yup. Alright, well, I was hoping to finish this up, but I think I'm gonna have to stop here because I'm out of time. So, thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you the next time. Bye!